Amsterdam, it's a star-studded to say the least. There's like 15 people, who all of them could be the lead in any Hollywood blockbuster. Are you kind of numb to star power around you by now, or do even you look at the poster and go, "Wow"?
No, I do look at the poster and go, wow, because, this all began just me and David sitting together in a diner, putting together ideas, and then gradually, these incredible actors coming and joining us, and the DP, Chibo, an amazing crew as well. It was beautiful watching it all come together. And David, I think, has a very unique way of managing that kind of a cast, but still making it feel not only really entertaining and funny but really sincere and heartfelt as well, so that it's not taking you out of it at all. So it was amazing the people who put their hands up and said that they would come join us on this journey.
And your character, Bert, he keeps telling himself and others to be optimistic. How optimistic would you say that you are in life, and how does that kind of materialize?
The alternative isn't very good, is it? Even though life might tell you, become, negative and cynical, and often it's difficult not to be that. David and I wanted to create a character that we wanted to be best friends with, and someone who really aspired to be like, someone who life really should have just broken to smithereens. He's someone who's had so many injuries, both physical and mental, but refuses to become a cynic and refuses to go numb. He's somebody who still feels everything, is very raw and alive in every single moment, and that's something that he creates every day. For him, like, his own life is a piece of art. And David and I, we would say eyebrows up. That was the thing we would say to each other about when we were having tough days, on the set as well. But somebody who is just ridiculously inspiring, such as Bert, who have been through the grinder, who've had crazy pain and suffering, but refuse to be defined by that, and instead they're defined by their love for people and their love of life. And you've got to be a scrapper for that. You've got to be a real fighter to keep on going in and believing in that. And that's what Bert is. He's a real scrapper.
Can you? I always ask about if there's like one or two scenes especially challenging to capture on camera in the movie in Amsterdam. Do you remember like a special scene that you had trouble with or that challenged you in some way?
I mean, look, we had so much prep time on this. I never really look at any scenes as being challenging or difficult, because I love it. I love it when you're trying to figure it out, but also the way that David works on them. It's not like you just do one scene and keep hammering away until you feel like you got it right. We film the script, but then he changes the lines and he changes the setup and he changes the scenes so that in the edit room he can end up making 6, 7, 8 different films from the amount of footage he has, and different responses that different characters give to each other. And sometimes this character says the line, sometimes this character says the line. And that's just the nature of working with David, and he keeps it very, very alive and spontaneous and full of sincerity and life to it. Certainly what I can say is that I think what pained everybody was that I do have to sing a couple of times in this film, and that was not pleasant for anybody, and they really had to pick very particular takes where it wasn't like listening to nails on a chalkboard. And singing alongside, JD and myself, singing alongside Taylor Swift, who plays Liz Meekins in the film. And we were just sort of doing these songs and forgetting half the lyrics and being off pitch. And then suddenly there was a moment during the day and David went, how about Christian and JD, Bert and Harold, how about you just shut up for this take and let's just let Liz sing. And suddenly the whole crew and myself, and I got to stand right next to Taylor as she was singing, just went, oh my God, that's beautiful. And we've just been messing it up all day long with our voices as well. And that was a very humbling moment and a real wonderful moment to get to be that close to someone with such an incredible voice.